guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be talking about a sensitive subject today, which is my health story and how I decided to become a nurse. So basically what happened was I wanted to be a dancer choreographer, and now I'm becoming a nurse. As you can see, it's quite a massive difference what I've decided to do from going to be a dancer in theatre, which I was doing, to then becoming a nurse. You kind of think, how does that happen? It's a completely different area of what you could possibly work. And this is how it happened. When I was 14 and I was just playing a game of rounders, my knee dislocated and I was very unsure of how to go about this. So I did go to hospital, had a load of tests done and found out that I had a deformity in my knees. And due to this, my knees kept dislocating constantly, so that I actually needed to go to a knee specialist, and I had multiple operations on both knees. And it didn't help that I also had a condition called hypermobility, which means you have very stretchy muscles. So it means you're extremely flexible, but it's also bad in that reference because your joints dislocate very easily, and it has damaged many of my ligaments in the past, and it hurts a lot. But that wasn't just it. Having to be on crutches for almost 2 years of your life was horrible. I hate it. I still do my physio treatments now, and it is still very painful for me to walk, and I will eventually need new knees. But because I'm too young, I won't have new knees until I'm a lot older. So that first happened at the age of 14. Then when it came to the age of 17, I was not sure what I wanted to do because my dancing and choreographing had obviously stopped because I wouldn't be able to dance. I have tried, but I can't succeed because I'm in so much pain, I'm crying. And so I decided to try a different job, an apprentice, and I was working like crazy. And I started to have these random collapses, and I wasn't sure because I kept waking up on the floor, not remembering what had happened before and after. And I woke up, my head would hurt, my chest would hurt. So I decided to go to the doctors. They booked me in for a load of tests, but before that could happen, I had an accident at work. I remember it so clearly to this day. I was walking up the stairs, that was it, and then the next thing I knew, an ambulance had been called, paramedics were coming up the stairs by the time I'd woke. I'd been out cold for over 10 minutes, and this is when I went into hospital for almost 2 weeks because they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I got diagnosed with postural orthostatic tachycardiac syndrome, which really sucked, and sinus tachycardia. This means that you have an extremely fast heart, so you have to be on medication to regulate your heartbeat. So my normal heart rate is 180 beats per minute, whereas your normal heart rate ranges between 60 to 100 beats per minute, which is in the normal range. So 180 is ridiculously high, and because of the postural part where you're constantly upright, means that my heart can't cope with being upright, so my heart goes mental. So I've been on this medication for almost 4 years now, and they're still having a look into this condition. It hasn't been fully researched, so they don't know that much about it and why I've had it for so long, because usually it only happens in people that have had operations and been lying down for too long, and then when they get up they have these episodes. But because it happened out of nowhere, I've constantly had it for 4 years. I haven't had an accident in a while, so touch wood, that won't happen. But then due to this, I also had, I think I mentioned sinus tachycardia, which means the electrodes in your heart don't actually process through your heart properly, which causes it to beat faster. And this caused another condition called Raynaud's disease. If you don't know what it is, it's basically the blood vessels in your hands, your feet and your arms, just these bits here. It means that the blood doesn't get to them enough. So if you're in a cold environment, they tend to go blue, purple, and you tend to lose feeling in them. And due to my heart, I was having these symptoms, and one day my arms actually went black, that I needed to go into hospital. I was in a hypothermia blanket because they couldn't quite get it under control, and I've still had a severe case of it, so I have to wear gloves, be careful when I'm even opening the fridge or freezer, because it could simply set off this and then I'd have to go to hospital again. And I'm still having treatments every year and going for my scheduled appointment every year, and they keep checking up on it, as well as my heart. But then also, unfortunately, many women do have this. It's called polycystic ovaries. It's where your ovaries have lots of cysts around them. Every woman has cysts on their ovaries, but if you have polycystic ovaries, you know it's very hard to conceive, to have children. And with polycystic ovaries, I had the unfortunate amount of where mine actually expand and burst. And due to this, I've had 3 laparoscopies, which has left scars all over my stomach. They're only minor scars, but they don't like to operate on me because I've had this so much that because there's so much scar tissue behind, because they've operated 3 times, which is an unusual amount to have, they try different, and I've been sedated once whilst they've had a check out and everything on those lines. And it's been very hard on me to have these operations where you find out that you will find it very hard to conceive. I've had infections before due to cysts bursting, and that's been horrible. And due to all those medical conditions, I got diagnosed with depression at the age of 18, and that's because I've been diagnosed with 7 medical conditions in the space of 6 years. Actually, no, not 6, 4 years. I've been diagnosed with 7 medical conditions within a 4-year span, and this upset me massively because that's not nice on anyone. And I was going through my teenage years, the time that you're supposed to rebel, go do stupid things, or run in a forest, I don't know, go out clubbing, which even I find hard nowadays. Drinking, it's hard on me. I'm not allowed caffeine, I'm not allowed fizzy drinks, I've got to have a high salt intake, I've got to do so much, I've got to adapt to my life so much due to all my medical conditions, which is really hard for me because I want to be out there going rock climbing and being a nutter like I usually am. And once, due to all my medical conditions, my heart did give out during a time which was only less than a year ago, and I thought it was the end for me. But now I am back, I've realised that even though there may have been so much dark in my life, there is always colour to be found, and you should never take life for granted. Doesn't matter how much you have thrown at you, you should always be ready. And sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional, but I always find that you need to have those friends to support you, and even if you need someone to talk to, I'm always around if you want to email me. And I know it can be a difficult time, so the people that have helped me made a massive influence on how I wanted to become a nurse and to help more people like me. Thank you for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed my story. Well, not quite enjoyed, but I will see you in the next video. Bye.